Hello, Kevin here again, Bent Rod Garage. We are actually going to try to tackle some of this trans tunnel. That's the next thing that I'm looking at doing right here. So, come along for the ride. I appreciate it. So here we are on the trans tunnel. Um, I've got this removed out of here. I'm going to clean this up first because if you cover it without cleaning it, then you end up with stuff going on. So I'm going to clean it up first and then prep my piece and see exactly how far I'm going to go with that, what I'm going to do with that. So that is the game plan currently. So let's just get to it. You know, too much talk, not enough work, or something like that. Anyway. Oh goodness gracious! Hey, look, there's a hole in the floor right there. Okay, I'm gonna get a little more in that, but I really don't think I want to go right there. Over. All right, that's cleaned up pretty good. So I'm just going to give it a coat and let that dry. And we'll start laying out a sheet of metal over here. Now, if it must be better to go this way. Then I could go from all the way up there and shape it back here. All right. Well, I won't go all the way up, but I'll cover that. I'm gonna, because I do need to seam seal that back up. That will need to be re-seam sealed, but I think I'm going to go that direction with it. So, that being the case, I need to get further up here. So, let me do that real quick. Just going to give this area the quick squirt. I don't know, maybe just the primer. I may just go as far as the primer. I think that's all I'm really going to need. I'm going to let that set up for a little bit. And then I'll make a template for my sheet. So, yeah, it's got some holes and stuff, but I'm going to put more in it with some rivets. So, we'll make a template, get it up around here, down to a certain point on each side. That way, I have a pattern to cut out. And then I'll get it laid over here. And we'll do some really good rivets on there and try to make it look as good as possible. I think it's going to come out great. So that'll be next. But meantime, I'm going to let this dry real quick and go get some dinner. So I'll be right back. Okay, so you saw that I coated this, painted it, primered it, prepped it, got it looking a bit nicer. Since I'm going to be putting something over it, I want it to be protected. So I took Crispix box, cereal box, because it's thin enough, and made a template. It's going to go over this transmission tunnel. So got it to there's a ridge here, so it's going to follow that ridge there and over. Now it's not exact there, but that's okay. I can actually get it closer. See, I do need to be over that corner right there, so it's got to hang down a little bit. I had it to where it's about 2 inches down here, and I think it's going to work. So I'm going to trace this template out on my piece of galvanized, and then cut it out, and we'll lay it over this, and I'll find a starting point, laying it down, make some nice even marks for rivets, because I still want it to look nice. I don't want to just willy-nilly them in here, but start on one side and work your way across evenly on both sides here, just to get it to start to roll over, and then call it done. Should be good. So that's next. Okay, awkward angle, but like I said, here we have our piece. I've got it positioned pretty even across the top here. I'm going to flex down. It fits really good, and that is solid, especially when this gets riveted in. So I'll probably start over here on this side here, get it nice and flush, and rivet it in, and then work my way around. There may take a little bit of some hammering just around that edge down, just a little bit. Doesn't have to be a lot. And then we'll come back in, do some seam sealer around the outside of the piece. And I mean, it's galvanized, so I don't have to worry about it rusting. It should be thick enough and sturdy enough to handle anything that'll be mounted to it if it hits that weak spot. Other than that, I'm going to be going through 2 layers of steel, so there shouldn't be any problem with a shifter cable or anything else. And if I do have to make another hole, however I have to do it, I'm going to make sure to rivet and seam seal around whatever it is that gets made. It's going to be a vast improvement from what this was right here. So that is next, and I'm going to try to get this done this weekend so that I can move on. Okay, so here's the little process that I was going through on making my cover for my trans tunnel to cover the hole. Measured out holes so they're just exact, looking good. I did a little bend on the end here so that when these get riveted down, it'll pull tight. I don't want it flared up on the ends. I am going to seam seal it and everything, but when I was rolling it by hand, it wanted to flare up out here just because of how it's shaped. And then on top of that, I took it out and rolled it on a pole. It did give it some bends because I did go a little too much, but you know what? It's not that bad. I think it'll do just fine. And I like it having much more of a uniform drilling pattern on here. So we're going to take this and stick this in the car. Right here. And straighten it out a little bit. And that right there is gonna look fabulous. So what we're gonna have to do here is start along one side and then work across on both sides to get it snug. I'll get it positioned. The first couple holes, I'm going to use a pencil to get a mark, punch it, drill it, get those set, and then we'll start getting through all these other ones. But I think that is going to come out really nice and be really rigid for the trans tunnel. So that's first. Now, am I going to address this to be the same? It's also using a material, but it's not shaped in. To me, it doesn't look very good. But I don't remember how big the hole is, so I may investigate underneath this to check that out. Also, I've got some new stuff starting over here. So, we'll see. I've got the same thing on the other side. Not quite as big as this and a little bit more inset. So we'll check out that driver's side once I get there. Yeah, so that's the plan. So let me get this marked up, punched. I'll start getting it taken care of, and let's see how this comes out. All right, so I've got it installed, put in. That is super rigid, which, I mean, that'll work for anything that I put on here, because I mean, not only is it going to be going through this, it'll be going through whatever's left of the trans tunnel, because all it was that one square here. So that will help quite a bit. I'm very happy with that. I mean, what do you guys think, huh? For a patch job, like I said, I can't do full floors on here, so for just a patch job or cover for this, how do you think that came out? You know, we'll do some seam sealer around here, and then I'll go underneath and clean up and do some seam sealer under there as well, just to try to keep moisture out. You know, driving through water or anything, you don't need any splash up in there, or fumes from the engine or anything seeping through. So yeah, I'm super happy with how this came out. So next will be clean up and check out that area over there. And like I said, I've got a spot over here. I got to see what this attaches to, because that could be trouble on both sides. That might be body mount. I hope not, but if it is, yeah, that could be trouble. So I'll have to check that out as well. See where I go with that. But that's it, man. I'm super pleased with how that came out. So anyway, yeah, I got a bit of a mess back here. Had to pack some stuff up to ship out. But anyways, happy with how that floor turned out. Going to continue with that. Taking a look at stuff in there. Might as well keep going with that, because I've got more galvanized. I've got some steel, and I've got some stuff sold that's going to have a little bit of income coming for me. Might get a welder. I'm not sure. I need to look at that. As far as not a stick welder, but a MIG welder. And if that's the case, then I could do some more patchwork for this, which would be great. So in the meantime, once again, since we're out here and we've accomplished something, let's get to the list. Okay, here we are, back on the list, marking off another day of what I needed to do. Work on car. All right, man, fan-flippin-tastic. Look, almost done. Who am I kidding? Yeah, might end up with another one of these by the time this one's finished. More than likely. Anyhow, it's been Kevin, Bent Rod Garage. Appreciate you for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment below. Tell me what your first car was. Tell me if you still have it. Tell me if you did any of the work on it yourself. Let me know. I really like to know. Till next time. See you then.